healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Okay, and I've started my stopwatch. Welcome.
I feel like Phil Donahue. That's an old reference because I'm out in the crowd. That's all I have is old references now.
Well, we're in like a very old feeling space. It's giving 60s. It's giving
Chalet.
haunted. Yes,
Chalet
giving The Shining.
Yeah.
I love
Whoever
this.
that lady
There's
is.
a
Portrait of a woman who died here. We are recording live.
Welcome to Lady Journey.
The Lady Journey at the Vail Comedy Festival. And we're in Vail, Colorado. We all have altitude sickness.
Yes.
We all have a light headache, but we're pushing through. And
Yes.
I've heard bourbon helps with that.
Okay.
It's medicinal.
Well, I'll try. I won't be trying that.
Seriously, I have a relapse.
A relapse.
I had to.
I did walk by a liquor store today and I was like, what if I relapsed?
In Vail, of all places.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But it would be great for the pod.
It would be great.
We get you right back on. We get you right
I'm
back
on Monday.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
no one needs
Back
to know.
on. No one needs to know.
And no one needs to
We'll
know.
never tell your husband. Well, I want to welcome our guest, Dena Blizzard.
Yeah, thank you, Dina.
What a fun last name you have.
Yeah, it's a divorce name. So
okay.
there's that.
So you kept the divorce name.
I'm a little jammed up because I was married for 24 years, but everything is under Dena Blizzard.
It's so hard.
Love
It's
it.
very difficult.
That's why I tried to change my name and it was an ordeal. I got detained in Paris because of the whole mixture of documents.
Oh, yeah.
So then I went back because I was like, this is not
You
worth
could go
it.
back?
Well, I
It was
had to,
early on.
yes, because I only had one document changed.
Yeah.
And then it was my passport,
Yeah.
but nothing else worked. And it was a thing, and it's too much long
Too
of a
much
story, and
paperwork.
it wouldn't be
Yeah.
fair to you
Yeah.
to be on the pod to just be my full story,
There I
and then
was.
we're like, and that's it.
There I was.
Well, thank you, Dina. Thank you for being here to listen. Yeah.
We've all had some. We have had some travels. We've had some travels. Dina, tell us about your trip here. You've already told me a little bit. You're an overpacker. I want to hear more.
Overpacker. Well,
Yeah.
I try not to be, but I was crazy busy. My daughter's birthday was yesterday, and so she lives in New York.
Oh,
and,
yes, okay.
She sprained her ankle, and I was like, "That's sad." And then she's like, "You're gonna come see me for my birthday," which I wasn't planning on, but she was crying and her ankle was sprained. So I go, "Of course I'm gonna come."
Right.
So that turns into
You're
a
like,
6-hour
yes!
trip. Yeah, of course, mommy's coming. And then I had a show last night, so I think 15 minutes I had to pack. So I threw
my
everything in.
Yes, that's what happens. You get into a manic state.
Yeah.
I
And
love
then-
packing like a refugee.
Yeah.
Get and go.
10 minutes.
You got to go.
Yeah.
And every season, because even in New York and Jersey, I have no idea what season it is. And I was like, everybody's like, it's going to be cold, but it'll be warmer out there. But you are in the mountain. And I was like, so I have like a bathing
It's
suit.
hot
I
in
have
the
winter
day
boots.
and it's
Yeah.
cold at night.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to dress either. I never know actually how to dress for 59, 60 degree weather.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I brought a sweater. It's gorgeous.
I'm sweating.
Can't wear it.
I know.
Can't
Yeah.
wear it. My alpaca.
It's going to be something. We're going to look great.
I packed it in a bit of a rush too. I did an event last night, which was so fun. It was in Jersey. It's like a nonprofit called Laughing Matters, and it's all ladies night. Benefit for a little boy who has like a rare genetic condition. I thought it was in a synagogue, so I thought I wasn't sure what it was. You hear like fundraiser and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be scarred for life like I was when I did the condo in Jericho and no one laughed. No one laughed. They said they were going to laugh. No one did. But it was all women and they were so fun. They raised money. But anyway, of course, like coming back late at night, I'm just the same, throwing stuff in. Trying to jam a tripod in my suitcase like a mad woman.
Yes. I also sometimes do you do this? Do you force you're like you force yourself to wear an outfit because you're like, that's my only option, so I'm forced to wear this outfit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I like to do? I like to throw in beauty products that I've never tried. This will be my travel sunscreen.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why do I have a pimple?
Yeah. No, a lot of that. And then so I've been to Denver before, Breckenridge before,
Yeah.
but I've always had somebody with me.
Right.
Okay.
And so it wasn't until I was driving up here that I remembered that I'm afraid of heights. And when you're driving and you're very close to the side of a mountain.
Very close.
And so then I got into the fast lane, which I shouldn't be in because I'm going 30 miles an hour.
You were driving?
And I was driving.
Oh
I
my
drove.
God.
And so I just white knuckled pretty much the whole way here.
Oh
so
my
it was a
God.
lot. And then my girlfriend and I were reading an article that said that more and more women are listening to like erotic audiobooks.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
was
a
like,
journey.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let me put one in. So there's like all this hot stuff happening on the radio. I'm like on the verge of crying. It's just,
And then
it was
horny.
very
Yeah,
dramatic.
I love that
Yeah.
combo.
It was dramatic. It was a dramatic ride.
I was scared yet aroused.
Yes. So it's been a lot already.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Now,
it's good.
what can I just know the kind of plot line of the erotic? Just take
no,
me. I
no
don't want to know
real
the sexy.
plot.
Yeah.
Well, it's 14 hours. That's what I don't listen to audiobooks, but when you start
Yeah.
to, you're like, how is this 14 hours?
And- yeah, and it
and
is.
you can speed it up. There was one that you can like go double time.
Okay.
But
Right.
I don't think you should do that with an erotic book.
Right, you need it
'Cause,
slow.
You know, like it's like, what's the point? Like this is supposed to.
He was putting his hand on my thigh.
So I was like, should I fast forward? Because I don't know if I have 14 hours. So yeah, but the plot, I don't know. There's always a woman with a very Spanish, sexy accent.
Oh,
I don't know.
Of
if
course.
it's arbitrary
There's
yet, 'cause
no
it's only
Long
chapter
Island
3.
going on there.
And then there was a man, and he had a very sexy voice, and he just said things very sexy, and he was English. I think that they know that women love accents.
Yes.
So you can
Yeah.
be saying really anything in an erotic book, but if you said an accent, it would be erotic.
Although I actually don't care for an accent because I have anxiety and I always found it's too much. If I don't know what he's saying, that sends me into
You
a
would know.
tailspin.
Yeah.
You would
I'm like,
know.
what?
But I feel like some accents don't transcend erotic, like
Yeah, like East
Australian.
Coast. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Australia.
There's that.
I'm putting my cock in.
Yeah, that's not good.
There's the like, East Coast, like,
good.
forget about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, forget you saw
But
anything.
like a good Scottish.
Oh, a brogue.
Oh
Please.
yes, like a Hugh Grant,
Yes.
like little mumble.
Italian
Yes.
something.
We're doing the live podcast but
A
part of
buffet's
it-
going.
A buffet is going on in
Yeah.
the corner. And so I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's a bit of chitter chatter. And that's fine. This is what a live podcast is. You podcast in the corner and then people chitter chatter to the side.
that like the three of us over here just chit chatting and they're just like bro talking.
And everyone over there is a man.
yeah.
And I'm taking it as an affront.
Right.
To the lady journey. You guys should be sitting
wounded.
watching the podcast.
Watch more people
learning.
go over there to listen to sandwich talk.
I know. Well, yeah. Can we have the sandwiches? They're doing a different podcast over there with sandwiches.
Yeah.
San-
It's very
yes.
funny just listening to men. I was with my boyfriend. We went to the bank and we're standing there. The teller's there. Nobody's really talking. There's like this transaction happening. And then out of the blue, no one's talking. My boyfriend's like, you a grappler? And I was-
Grappler?
Yeah. And
Is
I
that
was
wrestling?
like, yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, where did that come? But apparently had like a logo, and because it was silent too long, they
yes.
have to just say like, "Are you a grappler?" And then the guy just started talking back like real, just like manly wrestling terms. I was like, "Is this like intriguing to the two of you?" Like I would never go up
Right.
to a girl and be like, "Do you like to grab people?"
Do you grapple?
Right.
I thought grappling was like when you have the hook and you throw it and then you like swing across a building. Right?
No, there is a name of that. I don't
Do
know
you
what
grapple?
it is.
That's
The
a
guys
more
would know.
insane
The
thing to
guys
be
would
into
know.
as a man,
Right.
like
Yeah.
parkour.
Yeah.
Right. Are you parkouring?
Yeah.
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 But you
Yes.
would never go up to a girl and say, "You like parkour?"
Do you like parkour? Do you LARP?
I don't
Actually,
know what
would
I
love
say.
it. I would get into that if I wasn't
Right.
busy.
What is LARP?
When I see
Live action
LARPing,
roleplay.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like usually with some guys in swords on a hill in a
Dungeons
park
and
that you're
Dragons.
nearby.
Yeah.
There's a few lady fairies
Yes.
walking around with
sensual,
Wow.
sensual crones.
It feels horny at the same
Yes.
time.
It's very horny.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's kind of Renaissance fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I would love to go to a Renaissance
Yeah.
fair.
Hey, are you guys watching Love on the Spectrum?
Oh,
Yes.
of course.
It is.
I love
I've only
it.
watched the first season though,
The best.
but I keep hearing it gets better and better. and I'm
Oh,
like,
third
how does it get
season
better and
is
better?
good. Yeah.
It's just the most beautiful thing.
It's-
like I was on the dating app watching them go on dates. I'm like, why can't all dates be like this?
Yeah,
Why
it-
can't
it's
people
the
be
most
this
healthy
honest?
dating show where it's like they're just practicing healthy behaviors.
Yes.
Being
They'll
like,
just be
I don't feel it, but we can remain friends.
Yes.
Meanwhile, every other dating show on Netflix is unhinged. unhinged,
Yes.
rabid,
Yes.
like throwing women at your husband to see if he'll fuck them. Then he
Yes.
divorces you.
Yes.
And it's like, if it's not true love, you're gonna find out.
Right.
We'll be jerking your husband off in his sleep.
It's so crazy.
It's dystopian. I feel like I'm watching some kind of Hunger Games for romance. It's
But then
so
you watch
wild.
them and they'll be like, I don't really like your shirt, so this probably won't work out. And she's like, okay.
And they're right.
They're
They're right. That's a
You're right.
good red flag.
That's a red
Sometimes
flag.
It's gonna work.
you don't like
She's
my
right.
shirt.
They don't get mad. They don't get their feelings hurt. They're like, yeah, okay.
I love watching it with my husband because it's almost like, okay, these are dating practices. Like
Right.
this is what
Yeah.
healthy communication is.
There's one, the first season that I watched, she just whipped out her like game player and started playing in the middle of the date. And I was like, I love that.
So brave. We all want to do it. Get a little Candy Crush
And
going.
be like, I'm done with this conversation. The best was, I think it was this last season, and there's a couple that have been dating forever, and he was like, and they're both in tubs overlooking this mountain, but bathing suits. It's just this adorable.
it's a
Talking
little
about
spa
candy when
vibe.
they get married, they're gonna have just like loads of candy on the table. And he goes, I just love you so much. I love you so much because she says, I love you so much because you treat me like a princess. And he goes, I love you so much because you treat me like a Power Ranger. And I was like, why has no one ever said that to me?
It's
That
so
is the
sweet.
most beautiful.
I know which
thing
couple
ever.
you're talking about, and I
Right?
forget their names.
Abby?
But Abby and
And
Josh.
David.
Oh, David.
You would love them. Everybody loves them.
They're so sweet.
I got it.
So
Is it
lovely.
still in Australia?
It's in America now.
They moved
Yeah.
it to
They've
America.
moved it to America.
It's beautiful.
They've had 2 seasons in America.
Do they ever cross, meaning like autistic people date regular?
Yes.
Not regular.
One guy did go on a date
non-neurodivergent.
with a
Yes.
woman, and she was lovely, but bigger,
Right.
a bit bigger, and he did reject her. And I found it. Sorry, that was a spoiler. I've been going off.
That's all right. If they made it this
So
far.
sorry.
Yeah. No,
I'll
no
put a
one's
spoiler
giving
in
up.
ahead.
No one's giving up.
I
on this
see.
show.
I'm on a rant right now because I just feel like there's no sense of decorum with spoiler culture in America,
Yes.
where it's like it used to be like spoiler alert,
Yeah.
spoiler alert. I was in the coffee shop by where I live, and somebody ruined Severance for me, just shouting it to their friend. I'm like, what are you doing? Not all of us have Apple TV right now. Some of us
Secrets.
go from channel to channel.
Right.
We watch everything. Then we get the new channel. I'm on Disney Plus right now. So it's just crazy to me. It's like you can't even go on Twitter.
You're on Disney Plus now? What are you watching on Disney?
Andor is the best show
I keep
have
seeing good
seen
things
in
about it.
recent history.
It's like a Star Wars world.
It's in the Star Wars world, and I know what you're thinking. Star Wars is very like Marvel, corny, cheesy for kids. This is an adult drama that's set in the Star Wars.
Not a
universe.
cartoon.
No, it's live action. Diego Luna
Is it like
is
the
the main
Mandalorian,
character.
like that vein?
It's like the Mandalorian, but it's more of a high drama.
Okay.
Yeah, the Mandalorian I thought was fun, but it's more kind of like a family show. It's a baby Yoda, whatever.
Right. And then each episode, there's only one storyline going out throughout the whole season. But each episode, you're like, you could kind of watch the second one, third one and be okay.
Yeah.
Is Andor more serial?
Andor is it's a mini series. It's a 2-season mini series, and you cannot watch it with children. It's very adult.
on Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus.
I actually think
Because it's
Star
with
Wars
Star Wars.
there should be a Star Wars world where there is penetration.
Yes.
Wow.
That needs to be in your book.
Wow. Yeah.
I love, oh my God, erotic fiction set in space.
Yes.
You got
Telling
me.
you. Yeah.
Elon Musk
new
should
genre.
fund that. That's
Yeah.
going to be his next
I
project.
think that's why they're going to space.
Balls Tesla. I don't know what else you'll call it. But yeah, Andor. Because I think because Disney Plus bought Lucas World or whatever it is,
yeah.
I see.
and they make so much money.
They
off
can
the
do whatever
Star
they
Wars,
want.
They can do whatever they
Yeah.
want. But they
Yeah.
should do, and it's a huge budget show. You can tell watching it. The
Wow.
budget is unbelievable.
Mm.
It's not like Netflix where it's like they're throwing 20 grand. Like
Or it's set in one camp.
every set at Netflix,
Yeah.
it's like, is this an Airbnb?
Yeah.
Like, come on, you guys.
I'm getting upset though because, like you said, there's like one awesome show on this streaming network and another awesome show on this one, and I'm just
Also, what is
spending so
Mubi?
what
There's
what
Mubi?
is Mubi?
What is Mubi and how do I get there?
I don't know.
And there's also a Tubi.
Ruby and Tubi, and I don't know what either of those are.
I think Tubi is short form video.
Okay, short
That's what
form.
I think it started as.
That
I
was
don't know if
Quibi.
it's-
I thought,
No.
there's
then I'm
Quibi.
wrong.
No, I think they
the
all,
same?
well, like TikTok is Vine, really.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah. It's all the same.
So we don't really know.
But I don't mean to change the subject, but I have to say I love your silver.
Yeah, your
I
jewelry
love your
game is
silver.
on
You know what?
par.
I'm going so it matches my hair.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Tell us
Everything
about your
now-
hair journey, because growing
All
out
right.
the silvers
It's dramatic.
It's a journey.
It is a journey. I turned 52. So I got divorced and then all my kids moved out and then I hit menopause. Then I got pellets in my butt. You guys are too young for that. It's
Butt
a whole thing. Yeah.
pellets. Oh my
you're
God,
gonna
that's such
love
a
it when it
journey.
kicks in. And then I was like dyeing my hair every 3 weeks and I can't afford it.
it's
And
too much mental real
and I
estate to-
can't.
yeah.
And so, I was like, what happens? And the funny thing is I told all my girlfriends were like, this is a horrible idea. Do not do this. It's a horrible idea. I have 2 sisters, younger and older, and they're like, you're going to look so old.
That's
And
crazy. 'Cause
Crazy.
I've seen there's I don't want to name names, but a comic that clearly spray paints his head. It
Yes.
looks like it. And I'm like, I'm like, you just look like an old person
spraying your hand.
spraying your
Spraying
head.
your head.
Yeah.
And I actually ran into that comic in a darkened
I love
club.
that you know who you're talking
We
about.
know who it is. And I thought he had gone white. But then I saw him the next time and it was blonde. And I was like, he must have had like a trauma.
But there's no dimension in his hair. It's
not
just
good.
one big
Yeah.
helmet
It's
that's
not good.
happening.
But
Yeah.
the funny thing is that all the women were against it. Every guy was like, I bet that would look beautiful.
I think it looks fantastic.
and it's
Yeah.
funny because I was like, I think we do this to ourselves. I don't
Yeah.
think men give a shit.
I have
Well-
that theory too in certain aspects because I only think gay men in the closet give a shit.
right.
care. Yeah.
It's interesting
But
who
straight-
sets the standards for style.
Yeah.
I
right?
wouldn't. Yes, because I wouldn't think a straight man would
They don't
actually
care.
give a shit.
They don't
and
care.
you have to use your own judgment at a certain point, I think.
Yeah.
And
I'm just late. I think I just
Also, your
leaned
face
into my
is young.
lazy. Thank you.
Yes, you have a
Yeah.
young face
And my boobs too.
I haven't checked them out
good.
yet. but
Yeah, it's in good shape.
the nice
so,
young-
and that was the thing
Yeah.
is when you go through a divorce, you have to go and like get everything like checked on.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna use this again, so let's check it out.
Right,
And so you get
right.
like a tune-up.
Oh,
It's a
I
whole
love
thing. I had to get
it.
new underwear. My girlfriend
Yes.
did like a pretty woman. You need like dating new
I love
outfits. So we did like a
Yes.
slutty pretty woman montage. And so
Yes.
she's in the dressing room with me, and we have these cute outfits. And then she was like, "What's happening? What's happening here?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Why are you wearing marital underwear?" And I, was
love
like, "What are
Did
you
you have
talking
a big
about?"
a big bag?
I
That's
guess
my
so. I
underwear.
go, I don't know.
I say
It's
normalize
fine.
wearing underwear for 20 years.
Yes. Wear it till it rips.
So now I was like, I have to go get new underwear, and now I insist that all my friends get new underwear, even if they're married.
So what kind
it
of
sets a
panties do you
stage.
have that?
So I tried a lot. So first, because I have lots
Yeah.
of stretch marks, and so I was like, I'm gonna cover this whole thing. But
Right.
then my
Okay.
panties were like up to here.
Yeah.
It's just too much happening.
Yeah.
And then
It's a
I was like, well,
bodysuit.
I'll go full coverage at
Yeah.
the back, but
Okay.
that's not a good look either. That
Right.
that's
Then
what
you get
my
the
mom
panty
has.
line, you get the bunchy.
It's a
Yes.
lot. And so, but the funny thing was, like, I started dating my boyfriend Jason, and the first time you're naked with somebody who's like not the person that ruined your body, you're like,
Explaining.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Giving stories.
Yeah, but see, this was my second baby, and this one, and then I had to get my gallbladder out. There's like a whole diagram.
I'm working on this
but
one
he
right
just,
now.
I was like explaining it, and he was like, "You look beautiful."
I know, and then
just-
you look at their body and you're like, why am I
What the
explaining
hell?
this?
oh,
Yeah.
Your turn.
He's got a weird
same
toe.
thing. He
Yeah.
was the one that kept saying, he goes, I love your body. Stop covering your body up. So now I wear my little bikinis and
Yes.
whatever. I don't care anymore.
Good for you.
I just feel like if you're with the person that makes you feel beautiful, like who gives a shit what you think or anybody else
Absolutely.
thinks. So,
well, I mean, we're so
agreed.
like it's just shoved down your throat as a woman. It's like you're invisible at 50. You're invisible.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know.
I mean, in this day and age, like we all have credit cards, we all have money, we all make money. It's like, who are we invisible to? I guess a 20-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Fine, I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, I kind of want
Don't
to be
talk to me, Trevor. Get out. Now, are you when you let the gray or the silvers
Yeah.
start coming in? did you make more conscious choices like when you were doing your divorcee glow up? Did you go to silver jewelry then? Have you always been a silver
I've
person?
always had silver. I had a couple gold, but I was like, that's probably not a good idea
Because the silver
anymore.
complements your skin tone, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's say that.
Are you Italian?
I am.
Italian?
I
Yeah,
am.
yeah.
A Spanish, Italian, Filipino. It's kind of like all a little mix.
Because my sister-in-law is Italian also, and she loves the silver. And it's like, she's like, I just feel it's right for my skin tone.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it was a lot, and I think it's good that it takes so long to grow out because it's really traumatic when it's really short and you're like, I know it looks horrible. You have to say to people, I know, but I'm not getting.
Don't get mad at me.
So you don't have to bring it up. Yeah,
it's
a thing.
Yeah.
And then there's that half head. There's half head where it's
oh
just,
my God.
But you have to get to half head. But then we started putting like highlights in to kind of make it a little bit
blend it. Yes,
blend it.
you gotta blend.
But yeah, it's almost all out now, and I don't know. I do wonder, like makeup wise, like everybody's like you could wear like more reds, like these weird Converse. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what if I knew what my colors were before.
Yeah,
I don't believe in that. In a weird. I guess some colors can wash you out. I'm trying to figure out the right word, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like when they do the things under the cloths underneath. I'm like, I can't see it.
I know. I'm like, what is this?
What is
I don't know what we're
sorcery?
looking for.
Right.
Because I was told I should never wear dusty pink, but I just love that color and it looks great on me, and lavender,
and you like it,
light blue, and it's just an easy color to match with stuff. So I'm like, because I got it done for me, and it was like, you're an autumn, you're a bold autumn, so it's like teal, mustard, royal purple, and I'm like, okay, so I can't match any bright red.
And, like what? And you don't get to wear some of the colors that you actually do like. Which is weird.
I'm just gonna give a quick update on the on the party that's happening in here. It's pretty loud now.
I mean, if we were basing the success of this podcast based on the number, the people that are here, we're really good.
We're killing it.
They're not.
They're not paying attention.
You guys are listening
to us.
There's a larger group that's formed around Mark, who is the person who set us up in here.
Yes.
And I wonder what's going on.
I wonder if he has his own podcast.
More people watching his podcast.
There's a secret podcast going on right now.
The podcast has gotten loud.
Oh, he took a call. It's a different
he's
podcast.
taking a call.
He probably has an outdoor podcast going on.
And I feel like my room, I'm not going to go negative. I won't let myself go negative.
I told myself this weekend I wasn't going to go negative.
No. Easier.
Did we all have that call with ourselves? I said to Missy, I was like, I'm already in a bad mood. I don't know because I was up too early. I'm tired.
Everything's been a challenge.
You had a wreck on the road.
So
we have to hear, because Sarah and I had a classic lady journey, which is what we call it when we make a big mistake. And I'm dying to hear because I haven't heard the whole story.
Well, we bought tickets for Friday, and I don't remember what time. The plane tickets.
Yes, and then we accidentally got them too late. Although,
and we kind of got reprimanded.
I feel like it would have been fine.
Then when Katie was like, "I bought my ticket earlier. Here it is." I go, great. So I'm thinking day early.
Yeah.
So I bought the 7:30 plane ticket
for Thursday
instead of Friday.
Meanwhile, I was on a Friday, and there were a lot of signs
there
that
were
we
signs.
didn't have. Like, you were like, mine was only $10. I was like, great. Never like, that's weird.
Right. And then my other signs, some of the red flags were, God, I guess my Katie and Andy like to show up really late to the airport.
Because you didn't figure it out until you were at the airport by yourself?
No.
Not until I landed. I got out of TSA. I text Katie, "Are you at LaGuardia?" I get nothing. I'm like, I know Katie didn't have pre-check, so I'm like, she's probably stuck in line. Then I'm at the gate. I'm like this, where I'm boarding. I'm like, these people probably just run a little late.
Crazy. I thought
type B.
I wake up to a text from Sarah. It's 9 a.m. and it says, "Are you at LaGuardia?" And I just felt my stomach drop out, like fear.
Awesome.
I get the
overwhelming me.
response while I'm kind of because I connect right when we are in the perfect altitude to connect to Wi-Fi, and then that's when it goes down. Then I'm just like clamoring for like hotels.
You don't see her on the plane. She's not there.
I'm still in my mindset of like, I did close my eyes a few times.
She couldn't be here. And
I went to 4, and I'm like, she could be 7 or 8.
A story,
That
right?
is so
Like,
funny.
I can't get to the airport, ignore you. Like, in a world in a world.
Katie likes her alone time.
Yeah. Well, also because when we were just at my wedding, I got to the airport super late.
That's
and I feel
what-
like
that was my clue.
That was you were probably like, well,
Where did
this
you get
bitch is
married?
crazy.
Right.
In Florida. Yeah.
And so then
Wow.
my original plan was, let me just get an airport hotel. I will stay there, have a relaxing day inside, watch TV and sleep and do some work. And then Katie's like, Mark got you a hotel in Vail. And I felt obliged. And then he had done all this research. And it was a lot of like being like, I don't know. I don't see the train to city sign. Let me get the Epic Mountain Express, which the counter is closed. So I buy it online. Then I have to cancel that. That's $89. I'm like,
Oh my God.
That's too. I find the train. That's only $10. I'm like, great. Then it's like an hour to Denver, I think, from the train.
Yeah.
And then I had to get a refund for the Epic Express. They didn't give me a
Where
full
were you
refund.
training from?
The airport to there's a train that goes right into the center of
Denver.
Union
Oh,
Station.
Union Station,
And it
which
feels
I love
like
that.
It feels like Hunger Games.
Westworld. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like you're going
It's
in
on
I
a
love
field.
That train.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Um
And Union Station is lovely.
yeah, it's great. And then from there there's a Amtrak bus terminal. And then he was like, go get on the Pegasus line outside a Honey Tupelo restaurant. I buy that ticket online. Here's the lesson I learned. Buy the ticket off the app, not the website.
Oh my
Really?
God.
It's easier to understand in the format than the HTML of a website for some reason.
Yeah.
I bought the ticket for the shuttle bus to Vail, but then the bus driver was like, I can't let you on because you have luggage. It's a like come as you are, no luggage shuttle.
What?
Which is weird to have that and a bus. He's like, go to gate B19. I get down there. The guy's like, you have to get a refund and then buy that ticket. So there's a lot of wasted money. I bought a phone charger for no reason because my phone was going dead.
You were right because you're just panicking at that
I was
point.
Wow.
panicking. And then you have this thing like, I should get the bus stop 30 minutes early because I always have this fear if I go get a coffee, then I don't realize the cross-section light is 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's an anxiety that comes with that. So then it was like, I think 2.5 hours from Denver to. It's not the worst.
Not the worst, but
I would
It's
have rather
it's a pretty scenery.
yeah.
But although I did just refresh apps over and over and over again, like a lunatic.
Yeah. It's nice. A nice background for your phone.
Yeah.
And then I came in and then ate a meal by myself, and that was it.
You had a Wiener Schnitzel.
I had a
But
Wiener
then you had
Schnitzel.
the whole morning.
I had
to
the whole
relax.
morning. I did. Yes.
So what'd you do in the morning? Did you get a coffee or anything?
I got a coffee, and then I did treadmill to a scenery of the mountains while I'm in the mountains.
So lady journey.
Well, I wanted to work out, but I didn't want to do a hike by myself because I don't like hiking
safe.
by myself.
Not safe.
Okay.
Park predators.
Yes.
You're out there. You don't want to be killed in high elevation.
Right.
That sucks. You're like, and I have a headache.
And so
I have a headache.
And then I just shot content
Nice.
in my room.
So, Dina, you might not know this, but this is Sarah's first weekend out
without the
as a
baby.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
At
so
the-
cool.
Yeah. I feel like there's a slight anxiety happening.
Yeah.
But I FaceTimed a lot and then looking at photos and then here's my thing. I want to talk about him the whole time, but I understand third parties hate when you
I
talk
love it.
about your
I love
kid.
it. I love
I
it.
miss it.
Well, you always hear people be like, oh, then you have to see their 8 million kid photos.
I know. It's like, oh, we get it. Not liking kids is your personality. You.
Yummy.
yeah. So
I was talking about him to Andy.
yeah.
I'm like, I'll show you photos on my phone. I got some good photos.
Sometimes
cutie.
Katie's holds him, and then I sent Katie a photo of him, my baby, with her, and was like, "Happy Mother's Day."
Yes. That was when we went for a tea last year and we brought him and had an insane experience, by the way. We went to Alice's Teacup in Midtown Manhattan. Sarah's in there with like a stroller that converts to a pumpkin seat. The waiter or the host was like, we don't have reservations for 3 downstairs. I'm like, it's not 3, it's 2. And we have a baby. So they made her hoist him up a spiral staircase.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to help. It was crazy. And then on the way back down, when we're leaving, there's nobody down there. The guy was
Rude.
He was rude.
Rude.
Okay, Alice's Teacup. So we expect to be
Compensated.
we expect, or you'll expect a recompense.
Now you're from Philly, and we were just talking about how much we love Philly.
Adore
and
Philly.
We actually feel like Philly gets a bad rep.
Yes, because of the Eagles fans.
It
because
doesn't.
they're.
I mean, it deserves.
But it's a
it bit.
great
I mean,
city.
We take pride in it for sure.
Yes.
It's got good history.
So, great history.
Architecture is really great.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
fun
dirty,
things to
little
do.
smelly.
Little
I
stinky.
mean, I think you guys are bringing like a really nice edge to it. But I think we like the way that it is.
Yes, I like the streets, how they're small.
Yes.
I like
Oh,
that.
I love old
yes.
souls.
We have that.
Feels
I
very
love
Europe.
The Italian
food,
market
yeah,
is
great
so fun to
food.
just go
Is
for a
great.
walk down.
Yes.
And you know what I love in Philly, which is maybe a little weird, but I love the Mutter Museum. I think it is
yes.
the coolest
super
thing.
creepy.
I
It's
went
super
there by
cool.
myself and I never
know
do
it?
that.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you've never been, it's like this museum of medical oddities from like 1900 before they had like true medicine, so people's bodies would just kind of get out of control. So it'll be like this man's anus came. It was 100 pounds.
Right.
That's an exaggeration. I don't remember what the.
But kind of close.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
there is something like that in there. It's a
It's
weird
like
thing.
formaldehyde Siamese twins situation.
Yes, it's so
It's very
fascinating.
goth.
It's a perfect, and they're very cute, and it's a cultural thing, but they're very cute. Like in that, this is a fun date. Like I came to the Mutter Museum on a date. It's a fun thing for weird people
Yeah.
that have like a little darkness in their souls.
Yeah, if you're really not sure you want to be with somebody, that's the place.
Yeah, you test them out. Yeah, you test them out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because everybody does the art museum. You guys have been. To the
Oh
art
yeah.
Yeah,
of
your
course.
museums are great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you're-
art museum
The
is
museums
really
are very nice.
Rocky and the whole
Yes.
I love the market too. What's the market there?
thing. Reading Terminal.
Reading Terminal Market. Oh, it's so beautiful to go there for a lunch or even just to go for like a stroll, pick up some chocolates. That's what the last time I was in Philly, Mike and I went and we stayed. We went a day early. We were doing the day before Thanksgiving at Helium. So we went a day early. It was rainy and like gross. We're like, ugh, so gross. We ended up walking around downtown, finding a little happy hour in this gorgeous cocktail bar in a basement. And it was just like so decorated. And we ordered off the happy hour menu, just ordered everything and just like filled up. And then we just walked back through the rain. So romantic.
Very romantic.
So nice. When I was on the dating apps,
Yes.
I like bourbon, so I kept going to
okay.
these bourbon places. I was like, so you don't want to lock into a full dinner, so
Right.
people are like,
You want an
don't do
out.
that. So I was like, let me just get drinks. But the bad thing is that I was finding that if the date wasn't good, which most of them weren't,
They're
I
never
was
good.
drinking more,
Right.
and then
Yep.
I would be 2 or 3 bourbons in, and then I'd have to stay longer because now I have to sober up so I can drive
Right.
home.
Oh my
so then the
God.
dates would go on forever.
You're like, then I'm
So-
sleeping with them.
Yeah, no, it was
Meanwhile-
not a good plan. I learned that very quickly.
So
but,
dating
yeah.
is there's no good. It's not good out there.
No, I did. Yeah, I'm in dating. That's how I met my boyfriend. We met on Bumble.
Okay.
But there were a slew of horrible dates before
Right.
that. Horrible. Like
Yeah.
me hiding in a bathroom and I made all my two of
What's
my
that one
girlfriends were
about?
like
Yeah.
What's that one about?
I like shared my location
Oh,
so
yeah.
they could track me while I was on dates. It was just this awful day. And I guess I was awful at the beginning. So I'm 5'10". I'm a big girl. And so you really have to like figure out there's not a lot of guys that are at least 5'10".
Yeah, okay.
And then
Do you
I was
date
like,
by height?
well, when I
Or
was
does
younger,
them-
I never would, but like pickings were slim after a while. I was like, let's go down to
Right,
5'9".
let's knock it down
and
a
then
few
I found
inches.
myself slowly
Yeah.
getting down to 5'6", and I was like, this
Yeah.
is not a good decision. But apparently, that's the most lied about thing from guys.
Height?
Yeah.
Height. on
Yes.
dating
Yeah, very
apps.
interesting.
It's very
So-
sore subject, and they think women
Right?
aren't into shorties, but I know a lot of short men out there that are
Yeah,
great,
sure.
that have
They're
landed
fine.
really well on their
Love
feet.
the
But
short
don't
men,
tell
yeah.
me that you're 5'10" and then show up 5'8".
Right.
Because
It's like you're
we've-
starting it off as
Not
you're
good.
a liar.
And
That's my
I'm in
first
heels,
impression.
so I'm
You know.
like 6 foot.
You know.
So what I would
wouldn't
do
know.
on dates is I would show up early because it was usually like a bourbon bar or something, and I would say to the bartenders, "I'm on a first date. If this looks creepy, just try to move this along, just so you know, I don't want him to murder me." And
Yeah,
all of
drop
them
the
were very
check.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them
Drop
were
the
very
check.
good about it. So I go in to tell the guy, and I come back outside to wait, and we kind of, you know how the old buildings, they have like a door here and a door here. So we're like, I'm coming out, he's coming in. So now we're stuck between these two doors. So for a brief second, we're like this
Oh my God.
far apart from each other. And when you're this far apart and my head is up here and your head is here.
Did you say it?
So
Not
out of
adding
my
up.
mouth, the first thing out of my mouth, I was like, you're not 5'10", which
my
was
God.
wrong.
Yeah. But I mean,
And he
what are you gonna
said,
say?
they say I am. And I was like, who's they? And this is how this started.
My non-binary friends.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. I won't go into all the details, but we ended up going to another place so I could sober up. At one point, we go to. So, have you ever been to Park in Rittenhouse Square? It's this nice little French restaurant.
Yes, I know Rittenhouse Square, but I have not been to Park.
So Park is lovely. It's like an open air restaurant, whatever. It's like late. It's like 11 o'clock on a Sunday, which is late for a Sunday, right? And I wanted this to be over at 9. So I'm just trying to sober up. We get there. He was like, we're going to have some margaritas. He just keeps ordering. I'm like, I don't want that. I'm thinking, I just want to get out.
I feel like when you tell a guy, you're like, I'm no more drinks.
No more.
They
and
know.
Then he orders.
They know.
Well, he did. He orders all this stuff. Then he starts out over there. And then eventually just gets up and comes and sits on this side of the bench next to me. And I'm like, what is happening?
No.
And then I'm clearly not interested. Like, I'm just like, I'm going to be wrapping this up. And then he looks at me. He goes, I think I know what it is. And I was like, sure.
I want to hear
what is it? He goes, I think that you think you're out of my league. And I was like,
no.
You know what?
When you say stuff like that, then I am.
So I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really
What's your
say
league,
stuff
dude?
like that. So it just was a super
league?
uncomfortable conversation. Well, then the waiter comes over, and the waiter already hated him just as much as I did. And he says to the waiter, look at her, look at me, and tell me, is she out of my league?
Oh,
and
my God.
the waiter says, well, your shirt is unbuttoned and you have a lot of gold chains. But yeah, no, she's still way out of your league. And I was like, thank you. He was just so gross and disgusting.
Although
and then
I love a gold chain on a hairy chest.
It just got worse and worse. And
something-
finally, I just looked at him. I was like, this is the worst date I've ever been on in
Wow.
my entire
Fun.
life. And he goes, that's not true. That's not true. And like literally argued with me on whether or not. And I was like, I'm leaving. And then I just ran in the bathroom and I'm just texting my girlfriends. I butt dialed another
I would have called
comic
the
and he
cops.
was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm in the park bathroom. And he's like, you have got to stop going on these dates. I was like, I know.
I know. It's one of those where they're just like, run, bitch.
I know. It was so bad.
There's something I am a little bit jealous of the bad dates
because
they're
it's
like
so fun and
stories
funny.
and
Yes.
it's funny.
Not funny when it's happening.
I
know.
understand that,
Yeah.
but I could watch a movie of just a series
Just
of
bad
bad
dates.
days.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because there is so much comedy in it where it's like,
I have something you'll enjoy.
Oh,
you guys
ooh.
probably don't
Give me
know
the-
about this. What is she called? There's a lady on Facebook
oh, I love a recommendation.
who I follow and I'm obsessed with because it's a place where she's a doctor of rhetoric. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
She's a doctor of rhetoric. And so basically women take pictures of Facebook dating app profiles or conversations that they've had, and you send it to her, and she breaks down like what's wrong with it, like why these people are crazy, and it is the best thing to possibly be watching.
How fun.
Because she talks about, what if men say this is what she talks a lot about directives, like if a guy says, if you do this then I'll love you forever, and she's like, I don't need to do anything for you to accept me in any way. But it's just super interesting how she breaks
really
things down.
fascinating.
I love that.
Because it's kind of like, have you ever written like a email, like a kind of a business email, or that you're trying to keep it professional, and then all of a sudden you're reading it, you're like, I need to delete that
Yes.
prepositional phrase because
Yes.
it puts me in a position of weakness, or like,
sorry.
yes.
You're like, thanks
But
for your
that's
patience.
what happens
gonna
on
find
dating apps
Yeah.
when people
Yeah.
are filling out their profiles or bios.
Burned
There's
haystack method.
Oh, okay.
Burned haystack method. Fun. I love a wreck.
I'm telling you, you will love it. And she said she started it out as, dating profiles. But people are really using like the rules that she kind of sets up, like this isn't acceptable. So she calls it the burned haystack because her thing is delete all the men that are not what you're looking for,
Yeah,
because you are
totally.
looking for the haystack. But if you say, like, how when you date a guy and then you break up for a while and then he calls you out of the blue and you
Yeah.
start dating again. She's like, block to burn. Like
Yeah.
once they're
Oh,
done,
yeah.
They're
we're
done.
done. We're
Forget it.
moving on.
Forget it. Yeah.
And she said a lot of people are saying like, I'm using these patterns. I'm noticing them at work. I'm noticing them with maybe some toxic relationships
Oh
I
my
have.
gosh.
It's super interesting.
I'd like to get her on some of people's wild Facebook
Yes.
rants that they're writing.
Yes.
Like, what can you tell me about Aunt Sheila?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. But it's very entertaining and it has a lot of that stuff in there where guys are saying crazy stuff.
Well, they don't know. Some people don't know that they're spouting off crazy.
Right.
Like we
Yeah.
talked about that when I did your pod. We were talking about if you put up 5 positive memes on your Facebook, you need to be blocked, or like you need to be locked out of Facebook because you're in a bad place right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they think they're like
yeah.
doing
Well,
us a favor.
Yeah,
It's so wild, yeah.
she said there's like a bunch of conversations because she'll look at conversations between men and women, and a lot of times guys are like, "Well, what did I do? Tell me what I did wrong so I can learn." And she was like, "Absolutely not. You should never be telling a man how he should act." That's his
Right.
problem.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
part of our thing is that we're like, oh, well, let me tell you how I want to be treated. Like, I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not your mom.
No.
Right.
It's just that idea that you're just like, no, stop telling them, because what you're doing is you're just letting them learn how to cheat around things for the next woman they're going to meet.
Right.
And also, it's like, do they really want to learn, or are they just trying to get you to keep talking?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Oh,
So interesting.
I love
It
this.
is.
You are,
I like
you're-
human behavior.
You're
Yeah.
like on such a journey, Dina. I feel like of this is like your part 2,
Yeah,
your
let's say
second
that.
chapter.
It was actually super horrible for 3 years. I think I cried every day for 3
Wow.
years.
After the
And
divorce?
After the divorce.
I think it's the mindset that you think. I'm gonna speak as a hetero woman.
Okay.
You think it's over after 40? Because I remember being 30, getting single, and being like, it's too late.
right.
Now, when you have a hindsight, you're like, what an insane idea that
It
was.
is. I think that's part of it, but I also think, I was married 24 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a
I think
long time to
it's-
be with somebody.
You just have this vision of what this was supposed to look like. And there was just a bunch. It was like everything happening. My dad passed.
Yeah.
My divorce. Then my kids moved out. And so being a daughter, being a wife, being a mother.
Wow.
All taken away at the same time.
But you're still a comic.
And at the time I was touring a lot, but then the tour was over and I didn't really want to go out. You know, when
Yeah.
you're just brain dead. I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think anything's funny. I don't
Right.
want to talk to anybody. And
Yeah.
then I kind of went into my shell. So it was just like you tear away every single part of
Yeah.
who you are. And you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't
Right.
know.
But rock
what's
bottom is a
left.
gift.
Yes, I love it because I
Yeah.
love this story.
And
It
starting
is.
over
It
can be
is.
refreshing.
It was. And so right now I'm in the middle of trying to write a book about it.
I love it.
Because just trying to find the humor. It's not funny. And how do you get up every day? And how do you hide that part from your kids? You know,
Right,
my kids
right.
weren't babies. They were
You
adults.
can't unload all
and
that.
you
on
can't tell them.
Right,
but
right.
what was interesting.
Now you're fucked up.
Let me tell why this is your fault. But it was interesting because my mom was a widow at the same time that I became divorced.
Okay.
And so it was like, I think it's hard to start over at 50, but what does starting over at 75 look
Yeah.
like? And so, I just had my mom's birthday and her boyfriend from Bible study. She met in the
Oh, God
bereavement
bless.
group.
God
And
bless.
Jason and I all went to dinner and Jason and Joe were standing by the door and I took a picture of them and I wrote it on my blog. And I was like, 3 years ago, this was never on our board at all.
Yeah.
as
Right.
That life could look
It goes
good
by
again,
fast, or like
you know?
what happens.
It changes.
It feels
Yeah.
slow, but when you reflect back,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that wasn't
Yeah.
that long of a
Yeah.
period. Yeah.
So it's and then this idea realizing like I was on the same dating apps as my kid and maybe my mom if she got
Oh,
off the
fun,
Bible
yeah.
study circuit. Like everybody was really like figuring themselves out. So it was definitely like you see how much divorce affects 3 generations and
Yes.
how does everybody deal with it and so then I did start writing more about this process.
Yeah.
And so now my mom and myself and one of my kids will tour now and do stand up because it was
wow,
interesting
yeah.
how everybody kind of found the humor
Yes.
in that part. So my son will open, I do like an hour and then my mom headlines
fun.
and
Oh,
she
that's
does
great.
5 tight minutes.
Oh, I love it.
And
I love
she
this.
kills. Yeah,
All in
she
the
kills. She
family.
loves it. So
Do you
so,
have
yeah.
any like advice of what you did in the interim of like hitting that bottom, starting over? Like now, obviously, you seem great. You seem thriving. You look
Yeah.
fantastic. Like, can you give us like if anybody out there is dealing with the same? What did you do?
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything you can do, or are you just waiting it out?
I cried a lot.
Yeah.
And
Crying's good.
I
Feel
listened
it.
to a lot of sappy music. I actually in the book I want to write all my playlists because there was like
You
my
should.
wallow
Tori Amos.
Put it on the very beginning of each
my
chapter.
wallow, it is.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
there's
I love
definitely
it.
like different phases. I'm gonna
love Tori
wallow and all of this, and then I was like my power one, and I was
Lilith
like come
Fair
back,
mix. Yeah,
and
I
then
love
just
it.
I'm single, and I'm gonna do all. I'm gonna have a lot of sex.
Love
Yes.
That thing. So yeah, my playlists were a big thing, but I really think it was. I purposefully did not want to go from one relationship to the other.
Right.
And so
Yes,
that was
yeah.
really good. But I really have to say it was probably my girlfriends that saved me. Like
Oh, they're always there.
without
That's the
them-
most important
Yeah.
relationship I think in your life.
I
yeah,
think
your
it
friends
is.
Yeah.
will be there for you.
Yeah, it was really, really important. And like, then I became like the third to every couple, and all the couple friends were, I'm like, this is weird. They're like, just come with us. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll come
Yeah.
with you. So I think it was that, but I also think it's just comedy in general. Like, I mean, if you think about, getting married, having babies, getting divorced,
Yeah.
all of them are big moments. And you lean on your girlfriends, and you have got to find the funny in it. And
Yes.
so,
Right. I love finding the funny in the dark parts.
Yes.
the
That's
the best.
darkest
And that's
That's
why
the
you're
best.
one funny mother.
one funny mother.
Yes.
So.
Oh, I love it. Well,
And a lot of new underwear.
yes.
Yes.
It's really
I love
important.
this.
Really important.
What a great episode. Dina, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
gracing
you.
us.
Thanks for having me.
Dina is online. You're under One Funny Mother.
Yes.
Right.
Most of your stuff.
Yeah.
But is there anything else that you're promoting? Anything?
No.
Okay.
That's
well,
it. I just
thanks for
What
joining,
journey?
everyone. Like and subscribe.
Lady Journey.